in terms of draft, now that we have it right up on the screen, looking to see what kind of gameplay both of these teams will show up with. We know that Rdawggg, as we were just mentioning earlier, he was piloting the TB, he was playing the Rdawggg, and just able to really get himself ahead. So we'll see what Confirmed Crisis will do to sort of respond back to that.
Yeah, certainly. Like with him being like Asid's best friend, like he's certainly looking to dominate this game as well, so he can meet up in the quarterfinals as soon as possible. So we are just gonna have the Rocket Rookies start the ban up with the Decker. What do you think about that?
The Decker ban, definitely one of those staple picks and bans that we're expecting. She's one of those players or heroes that can create engagements, initiations into team fight, but at the same time, you can also play her defensively. So with her containment fence, protect the carries, protect those squishies. As we see, there's the Richter banned from Confirmed Crisis.
That deck Richter bans, I think that's something we've seen quite a lot today. Just those really annoying support picks as we just had from Rdawggg, the Decker ban, just disallowing them from having too much utility, too much hard CC, and then the Richter as well just makes the lane so hard to play. So might as well just get rid of it, as we see the Rampage being picked as the first pick for Rocket Rookies, something we've seen a lot as well.
Yeah, Richter, his silence really does come in clutch. Sometimes I wish we could use it on Tang, but we have the Rocket Rookies just locking in Rampage, able to have that engage, closing the gap as he jumps into those team fights. And his Behemoth, or the level 6, really comes in handy as he's able to really lock down on the squishy heroes. But now we've got Confirmed Crisis locking on Lieutenant Belica. I'm super excited about this because we haven't seen her, and she is one of those one of the strongest mid laners as of today in Pred.
Yeah, she is always a treat to watch. We did just see her last game, but that's okay. We are going to see her again in the mid lane together with the steal. Belica really strong against the Rampage. In particular, if you hide behind the mana-sapping drone, she can dodge out on the stun, also dodge out on the damage. So people really like to play it into the Rampage. But Rampage is so volatile that people just don't really care about it. Like, it's okay. You have one good interaction. We have a really strong jungle hero. Like, we are not too worried. And then there's also the steal pick. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, so Steel also providing the same CC that Belica does offer. So what we're seeing right now, as we see Severog gets locked on and picked by Rocket Rookies, we can see that there's potentially some combinations of abilities where we have the knock up as well as the shield slam coming in from the Steel. So a lot of engages coming from both teams. And now we see the Narbash Tang.
We see the Narvash as well. I was scared of a second. It was almost a draft we've seen 2 times today before, the Rampage Severog and then the Muriel support. But this time it is going to be the Narvash. So a little bit of a different sort of draft. I'm happy about that. But Narvash, one of those heroes that scale super well together with the Severog, both of them. Like late game menaces, just wins the game on its own, but into a Belica with the sort of mana drain, it's not the best matchup itself. But we see the Twin Blast being picked up for Confirmed Crisis. Certainly a strong pick as well.
Certainly a very strong pick. Twin Blast being piloted by Confirmed Crisis. This kind of leads us to ask what ADC Rdawggg would want to pick and play into this. As we see, there's the Gideon ban, very staple ban itself, because Gideon's also one of the strong mid laners. If you are going to be securing the Belica, it seems like they're going to take away that other mid laner, which is the Gideon. Going back to what you said with Narbash able to just provide that sustain, that Rampage, and Severog will be looking for as we go into this game.
Yeah, certainly. And with the Ceres ban as well, they want to make sure that they are not getting caged, because the Narvash is really strong, but he does not want to be the first one dying, because the Song of the People does not reach the rest of his teammates from the afterlife. So smart ban by the Ceres. Also, Ceres used to be a really good pickup into the Severog on lane. I think it swung a bit. I think the Ceres players are not always having their best time against the Severog, but who is going to have a good time should be the Fang Mao.
There we go. Here's the Fang Mao, a very fast, healthy jungle clear if he is played in the jungle, but also creates a lot of pressure in the off lane, depending on who he's going to go up against. So really excited to see what kind of tricks Confirmed Crisis will pull up out of their sleeve now that they'll be playing the Fang Mao. And as we see here, we've got the gadget from Rocket Rookies.
Yeah, this is looking like a late game comp, Rdawggg. It's the gadget and then also the Drongo. So a lot of survivability on the mages, a lot of AoE damage with the gadget, together with the Sevrog sort of lockdown and the Narbish Song of the People, together with the ultimate as well, Crash Bang Boom. It's gonna be a lot of AoE damage. On the other side, we're seeing a hero that we have seen 0 times, I think, so far in this tournament. It's gonna be the Fae, just insane DPS, but also very squishy in the mid lane.
One of the things you have to worry about as a Fae, though, is getting silenced because there's so many counters to her fly trap. So interesting to see how Confirmed Crisis will be able to play her out. We don't really see her a lot, so it's super exciting going into this game. Looking at the team comps, though, a lot of CC coming from both teams. I agree with what you said. There's a lot of AoE damage coming from Rocket Rookies, but what do you think about Confirmed Crisis?
I mean, with the Belica in mid lane, oh, actually, Belica support, excuse me, that swaps around a lot of things as well. The Belica on support, together with the Fae Steel, they do have a lot of hard CC as well. So the question is, like, who snaps the trap first? The fly trap for the Fae is like one of those big teamfight abilities that if you catch out the backline, it is super strong. But granted, it is against the Drongo that can just use the ultimate, the Shrapnel Cannon, to get away from it. Then Gadget also has some possibilities to itemize against it. With a lot of AP damage on the other team, it might even be a true silver bracelet angle. You know, you can always use that in order to get rid of the fly trap. And yeah, just Narbish building the cleanse item as well. So I think both of those teams just really excel at what they want to do. But the question is, like, who can pilot those comps better, and then also like who gets the engage first.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. Now, as we go into this first game, Rocket Rookies and Confirmed Crisis, there is a lot on the line here, as we were mentioning about the average times with the game. Can you remind us yet again, Tang?
I sure can. As we walk onto the Rift, we have, like, granted, everything I'm saying depends on Confirmed Crisis winning the game. If they lose, they are just out of it. Rocket Rookies will be the first place, and NA Rejects is most likely going to be the second place if they win against the Wompcats. So that being said, the Rocket Rookies have a combined time of about 47 minutes. So that would mean that Confirmed Crisis needs to win this in under 23 minutes to place better than Rocket Rookies, and that is a really hard time to beat. So honestly, I'm not really expecting Rocket Rookies to not make it out of the group, even if they ended up losing this. But for Confirmed Crisis, everything is on the line. But with that being said, we are looking at a very standard sort of opening. We see a lot of mana regen being picked up for the side of Confirmed Crisis. That surprises for the side of Rocket Rookies, excuse me, 2 mana regens on Gadget and Narbish. What do you think?
Yeah, usually with the support, when you want to be able to use your abilities, they are quite mana hungry, especially in the early game, especially with Narbash having to rely on sustaining his AD carry, which is Gak. But with Gadget, usually, we see maybe like a mana item, or perhaps the magic power item, the Codex. But that's something different, because I believe that Gadget definitely wants to scale and kind of sustain a little bit longer as she kind of tries to survive against the poke that's coming out from the Fae.
Yeah, and then with the mana regen, there's not a lot of items that can be built out of that. Do you have any suggestions what she can build maybe with that one?
Definitely, you can go into Time Warp, especially if you're going into more of that sustain. That is one of those items that does offer some mana regen if you're looking at what Gadget could be building. But coming out, when looking at the builds, Fae, very standard item coming from her. But going back, we see Samwise just taking a lot of poke and damage coming from the other side here of Confirmed Crisis.
Yeah, Nabish getting lower, but he is not really using his song, like his heal quite yet. His E is still full mana, but we're looking towards the mid lane. Rampage jumps up towards the mid lane. TheCrazyLegend is the target, but the rock is just gonna get cancelled. They know that the jungler should be close by as well. Steel is hovering behind the tier 1. Pretty smart positioning by him, just making sure that the Fae in the mid lane is not under too much threat. But river buff timings are coming up. That's gonna be 2 river buffs secured for the side of Rocket Rookies.
Yeah, we see definitely the gadget going in for that left river textbook. The Rampage secures that right river buff, definitely applying that pressure that we were expecting from Rampage. Steel takes a little bit to kind of build up and kind of get ahead as a jungler, definitely because Rampage offers a lot of able to clear a lot of waves a lot faster than Steel. So this is just the early game. We'll have to see who'll be able to pull out the moves first. But looks like there's a lot of damage going down over on this duo side.
Yeah, a lot of damage, but no kill to be found at all. But the gold buff going over to the side of Rocket Rookie, to the side of Confirmed Crisis, I believe. That should have been secured by their ADC. Also on the other side of the map, something we haven't quite mentioned quite yet, the Feng Mao into the Sevarog. So it is the Steel and Jungle, the Feng Mao in the offlane. Has a pretty free lane at the moment, but that can change quite a bit once the Sevarog finishes his Fire Blossom. What is important to note though is he starts it up with that armor component, so he's not gonna have that Brimstone as soon as he would have.
Yeah, Tarkraf piloting that Sevarog. We'll have to see how he scales. FedEx has to be careful because Sevarog is one of those heroes that if he gets his stacks really well, he's able to scale really into that late game, while FedEx just really trying to get his first item, really trying to get into that level 6, allowing him to potentially roam into the other lanes, allowing him to help secure those neutral objectives now that we are nearing that 5-minute mark.
Yeah, certainly. So we gotta wait and see how those two teams played out. Like as you mentioned, with the Fang being strong at this stage of the game, maybe we would expect them to go more for the mini prime. Meanwhile, we have a strong dual lane as well, though. Like with the Bellica, Twin Blast both being ranged. You mentioned it before. The Nabish going low on lane maybe gives them a chance to start up those objectives as well. But we haven't really talked about the jungler yet. Steel, usually not one of those heroes that really can start those objectives early.
Definitely not, especially it's a little bit slower like we mentioned in the beginning, but now he's got that Brimstone that does allow him to clear those jungle waves or jungle minions a little bit faster. But looking at this first early game, I like the pressure that's coming out of InkLegend so far, which is what we expect from the Rampage. He went over to the mid lane, we saw him over onto the duo lane, just really creating that pressure for his team as they try and get ahead.
And it's important that the jungler shows his nose around these parts, especially when the lanes are so pushed up. But now I'm looking towards the Rampage, looking towards that Feng Mao again, but no purchase to be had right there. Just goes away. Bierchen again, just hovering close by, just making sure to hover at least the Rampage. So even if the Rampage is a bit scary, there's always an even scarier sort of jungler close by. InkLegend also looking towards that offlane again, but yeah. Nothing really happening right here.
Now that we're 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes in, a lot of these heroes and players, they're hitting that level 6 mark. We saw that the Feng Mao was able to hit level 6 before the Sevarog was able to. So he definitely, like what we expected, has that early game advantage against the Sevarog, just pushing the waves through and creating that pressure as he is pushed back onto his T1 tower. But now we're going to have to see who makes the move first. How will the Steel be able to create that or manage to have that impact as we see InkLegend here?
A good rock connects onto the Fae. That's gonna be her having to run away. Maybe has to blink out, but there is a bomb on top of her. She goes really low. Steel is here, the hero save. Make sure that she does not fall, but she greeted a bit too much for the river buff. Ended up securing it. Steel got the other one, but in the end, it's still her being 1 HP. Her having to blow the blink. That is a big problem for the Fae in the mid lane. Now Rampage knows the mid lane is where it's at. The mid laner, the Fae, is very vulnerable, does not have much survivability. Now that the blink is blown, I'm just expecting the Rampage to head there a bit more. Obviously a bit of trading in the dual lane. There's a big wave, so Tutanchamin needs to be careful, but he is gonna be able to make it back to tower.
Indeed, they have to be careful here. Faye doesn't have his blink as we see the shield slam.
Ooh, that was a really good fly trap. That was an even better blink. As you mentioned, shield slam by the steal together with the fly trap, not enough, but get a blink blown right there.
We see that as we enter into this 8 minutes, we don't have the first objective secured yet, but here's another gank.
Connects. Yeah, and that's another gank. That's going to be the Belica dropping first blood over to the side of Rocket Rookies. Just no stop action now for the last minute. And finally, it happens. The Belica goes down. I don't think she had, I think she still had blink up, but ended up dropping there regardless.
Yeah, definitely. If you aren't able to really pop your abilities off, there's not much you can do when you get hard CC'd by that rock coming or the boulder coming from Rampage. But going back to the little bit of skirmishes over on the mid lane, both mid laners no longer have their blinks. So this is something that's very especially important as they use up these resources. We saw that the Steel able to kind of make an impact and help save TheCrazyLegend, his teammate, and TheCrazyLegend able to back out. This is going to be important as they look at this first neutral objective.
Kill, Rdawggg just getting the kill on Tutanchamin again. That's 2 kills for the dual lane of Rocket Rookies, catching out the Belica second time in a row. I think that was a 2v2 kill in isolation. TB stopping his back though, making sure to catch the wave in order to not fall behind too much. But that is certainly a bad sign, is it not?
It certainly is. If this is what we talked about earlier, if you let Rdawggg scale, and now that there's 2 kills coming out of Rocket Rookies, if you let Rdawggg scale, Rdawggg will be able to scale as a monster, have that damage output that they want from their team. So in order for him to really impact in those team fights, it becomes especially important. But going back to the Steel,
that's going to be an engage towards the mid lane. A good fly trap connects onto 2. That steal right there as well. Gadget does not have blink up, but she connects with the head. That's going to be the kill in the mid lane. Also going to get traded out by the steal. No, there's going to be a lot of body blocking going to happen. A behemoth dropping from the Rampage forces out the blink by steal that it has just used the shield slam as well. But no kills, only 1 kill over to the side of Gadget.
Beautiful rotation coming out from Samwise to help his teammate over in the mid lane. That's one of the things that not a lot of supports do, but they should. It allows the ADC to have those, to gather and build XP on their own, because this is what they want. They want Rdawggg to scale, and they're allowing him to scale on his own, gain those XP and level up. So good for Samwise to make that rotation in order for them to secure yet another kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, they really play well around those blink timers, as you mentioned, as we see Belica just getting caught again and again. Third death for her. FangBooth going over to Rampage as well. It's looking like a bit of a tragedy over in the dual lane.
This is looking very dire right now for Confirmed Crisis, as Rocket Rookies able to secure 4 kills, 11 minutes in. It was a little bit slow at the start, but now they're able to secure that first neutral objective in the game, having those buffs last a little bit longer, them having those advantages, those kills in their pocket. They're building up that gold, Tang, and this is Confirmed Crisis has to be careful here.
They have to be careful. Sevrok swinging onto the FangBooth, onto the Fang, excuse me. No tooth to be seen right there, just a glaive. Just gonna hit him a bit more. Sevrok does have Stonewall. He does not have Brimstone, so just very little damage coming out of him, but it is enough. The stun from the Stonewall also gonna deal with him. It's gonna be more damage, though. Steelers right here has to blink away. FedEx following with that dash into Reaping Slash, securing that kill. First kill over to Confirmed Crisis.
First kill for Confirmed Crisis. This might be the answer they're looking for. This is ideally what FangMao wants. He wants to have kills in his pocket because he's such an aggressive hero, able to really lock down and delete people, so to speak. So FedEx just able to secure that first kill. We are now 12 minutes in, 4-1. This might be the answer as we look into the mid game. Now that we're exiting the early game, here's a gank.
Fly trap up, gadget no blink, has to force everything, but just ends up dropping. Behemoth drop used by InkLegend is gonna go onto the Fae that just got back her blink, but it doesn't matter, it's just her blink being wasted. Bellica also in mid lane getting caught, has got knocked up onto the high ground and might just even make the escape, but there's two people chasing her. SimmyGoesHard also making the long rotation over from that off lane, but Bellica is just in the middle of nowhere right now. She does look very lost, is gonna maybe try to juke it a little bit longer, but we see a team fight also happening on the other side of the map. Rampage getting caught by the steal, but nothing happening right there. We see the Bellica just getting run down in mid lane, just having a bit of an excursion, like her fourth death of the game. Definitely not what she wanted when she picked that hero.
Tang just not having the time of his life right now as he was getting chased by a very angry SimmyGoesHard. Just imagine being chased down by a monster like that. It just feels so bad. But 6-2 Rocket Rookies just really having that gold like we mentioned. They have the pressure everywhere on the map as we see this gank.
Steer should have his shield slam up, but Rdawggg and Nabash, Samwise just respecting it, gonna back off, just gonna be the gold buff secured over to the side of confirmed prices. Devilingi is probably happy with that, but it might just not be enough. Mini Prime started up on the other side of the map, and it's certainly looking like a confirmed prices right now.
InkLegend able to secure that mini prime. They saw that the steal was over on the left side. That just allows them to really secure that mini prime on the right side. Now the question is, what will InkLegend be able to do with his mini prime? They have these advantages everywhere. They've created so much pressure, whether that be over on the dual lane, whether that be in the mid lane. There's a lot that could happen here, and they have to be careful. Rdawggg is alone by himself. But looking at the scoreboard, pretty even in terms of CS, but we're just a little bit ahead coming out for confirmed crisis.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket Rookies definitely are ahead as we see Samwise engaging with that CC immunity from the True Silver Bracelet, just managing to get that knockup. Forces out a lot of blinks, but in the end, it's going to be a decent disengage. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we see Faye pushing towards the tier 1 tower. She does not have blink up, but Gadget does. Rampage also gonna be close by, is gonna hit onto it. The other side, Bierchen is fighting as well, just fighting everywhere, honestly. Gadget is getting lower, but should be fine right here in the mid lane, though. I'm not sure if the Fae is fine. Rampage is looking towards the Fae. Fae is getting lower, uses the fly trap on the Gadget that has to use stasis, but here is SimmyGoesHard. SimmyGoesHard is gonna go onto the Fae, and it's just gonna be an easy secure after having to blow the blink guard.
So the Feng Mao was in that fight earlier, helping create that pressure, allowing them to take that T1 of Rocket Rookies here. But SimmyGoesHard able to see that, make that rotation over, and they were able to secure that kill on Faye. A lot of resources were used then. We see that a lot of, there's that combinations that we're kind of expecting. You have the shield slam coming out from the steal, you have the fly trap from the Faye. So there's a lot that could happen here. FedEx just really trying to apply pressure where he can, which is what we expect from a Feng Mao as he scales into the mid to late game. But we'll have to see how Rocket Rookies respond.
I think the Fang also has a bit of an easier time because, as we mentioned before, the SimmyGoesHard did not build into the Fire Blossom, so he is going Tainted Guard second, but he does not really have the damage. So Feng Mao, once he gets that Mutilator, is just gonna perma heal onto him. It's also gonna be gonna have a lot of wave clear actually on that side lane, as we see. InkLegend just securing that Fang Tooth after getting that mini prime earlier off screen as well.
It's just unfortunate. They don't have any vision on that side of the map, though. They knew that we're nearing that mid game. That second neutral objective is coming up. So it's Rocket Rookies just able to secure that second Fang Tooth, allowing them to have that buff, that movement speed. But here's Samwise.
Samwise hits a good knockup onto 2. Bellica tries to stun him out of it, but it's not going to be enough. Just ends up dropping as well. The True Silver Bracelet paying dividends on the Naval support, just negating all the hard CC that Bellica was supposed to provide. And that dual lane is just getting further and further ahead.
Good combination that we're expecting from Rocket rookies, working together and working cohesively as a team as they make these rotations everywhere on the map. Meanwhile, we see that there's some pressure that TheCrazyLegend is trying to just kind of respond to this gadget as we speak.
Yeah, definitely crazy. I'm not sure about the legend part, but he has to blink away. Blink follow by Gadget. Gadget has to burn the stasis, but ends up surviving. Blink for blink. Stasis burns. Head barely missing.
Yeah, that hat just barely missing TheCrazyLegend. Both stasis coming out from both mid laners there, and both ultimates as well. You know, looking at both of these mid laners as we look at their builds, this is what we're kind of looking at with Gadget picking up that time warp, which is that first item, and now she has that megacosm. TheCrazyLegend opting for alchemical, and then we have megacosm as well, allowing them to really have that damage as they're both AoE sort of mid laners or mages, but also going for the tainted. She knows that there's the rampage. She has to have that for the Narbash as well as the Rdawggg.
Yes, the Rdawggg is also quite the threat. We see a bit of an invade towards the red side, no FangBooth up, so it's a bit of a question why everybody is here, but I guess we want to fight, so Simmy is in the middle of everyone, does not have Blink from the early engage, and it's just gonna get absolutely deleted. FangMao might look for more, but Rdawggg is pushing the sides, and yeah, I mean, Samwise is just looking, it's like, okay, you guys have tainted on your mages, and also you do have yeah, a lot of damage, and Samwise is feeling it right now. Is gonna use everything, is gonna go forward 2 versus 3. They're feeling confident. Rdawggg is gonna force the blink out by the steal, and in a 2 versus 3, Rdawggg and Samwise are just not afraid at all. They really want to meet their friend TheCrazyLegend in the group stages, in the quarters, excuse me.
In the quarters, they might go Tarkraf closing in on Gadget here as he is faced by 2 angry monsters, or sorry, excuse me, the Fae tries to use a fly trap to disengage, but here's the blink with the colossal blow into InkLegend's waiting arms. Here's the Epoch coming in, but that's not enough because you are going to die. A lot of resources used up from the left side as well as the mid, but not a lot of damage with this 3 versus 2 here coming out from Confirmed Crisis, as Rocket rookies are 10-3 going into this mid to late game. Samwise just able to provide that sustain and the healing for Rdawggg.
And it's only gonna get worse as well with the Narbash scaling super well, as we've said so many times. Even with double tainted being picked up by the side of of Confirmed Crisis, is not gonna be the biggest problem for them. But I'm also looking a bit towards that Fang in that offlane. Managed to get the tier 1, also crashed the wave into tier 2. Like, that guy should still be a problem in the late game.
He definitely should still be. He's one of those aggressive heroes that we were talking about, definitely putting a lot of pressure on Tarkraf. But earlier he tried to rotate over to mid lane to try and make something happen, and they were able to secure at least a T1. But here's a fight.
Here's a fight. A good knockup lands by Samwise. Rampage with the BM off tries to do something as well. FangBooth is about to spawn. A lot of damage being taken by the Rampage, but he is just able to tank it with the BM off together with the Song of the People. That was a lot of cooldowns expended though. The FangBooth still the target. Both teams posturing around it. Rdawggg might just be a bit too close to Tutanchamin. Gets engaged on by InkLegend. Bierchen taking a lot of damage. Rdawggg has to blow the ultimates in order to dodge the sheet slam by the steal. Both teams just kind of handshaking right now, both fighting for the lane, but they have Narbash healing, they have the Rdawggg rotating over as well. Good knockup connect by the Bellica, but a good stun onto the TB with a Tesla door microwave. I want my TB cooked, but he ends up surviving somehow. He's still running. FangMao joins the fight. That is gonna be 2 members getting really low. Simmy has to blow the stasis. Is gonna be still on top of the FangMao. FangMao has to dash away. Faye gets caught, and in the end, it's just Rocket rookies coming out ahead somehow, somewhere. TheCrazyLegend has to disengage. Rdawggg is still dealing damage. Good subjugate connects onto 2. They are diving the tower. Good colossal blow into the jungle and into Simmy's waiting arms. 4 members die.
That is 4 members down on the side of Confirmed Crisis. That is the cue for Rocket Rookies as they move and rotate into this third Fangtooth, the third neutral objective on the map. 14-4. Rocket Rookies doing a beautiful job just working together as a team as they were rotating like a unit, 5 members down that duo side of the lane here or on the map, and just FedEx just trying to make that rotation, but just not quite fast enough as they just lost 4 members. They have to. The thing is, FedEx needs to kind of get those picks and try to get someone caught out, which is what Fang Mao really excels in rather, as he is those assassin hero. But we'll see how this will go down as he is just trying to create pressure where he can.
Yeah, FedEx definitely tried to deliver the obituary over to the side of Confirmed Crisis, but he did not really find anyone to give it to. So in the end, it's just 4 members to 2 dropping. Confirmed Crisis getting further and further behind. And something we haven't really had the chance to talk about is that Fangtooth. But now, Prime is the target. 4 members in the pit right now. 5 members. Gadget is close by. We see the dual lane super far away. This might just have to be a steal play. Steal. Maybe he can steal this. Bierchen is looking towards the pit. They don't have any sort of idea what the damage is, but it is going to be secured over by the Rampage. Fang Mao in the pit is going to get hit. The rest of the team collapses now. TheCrazyLegend walks into melee range, is just going to get blown up. No idea what happened there. Also, Steel getting caught in the pit is just going to die. Razorback comes out in the end. Too late, too little. Rest of the team also has to disengage. Bellica, good knockup, not enough. TB gets caught. Bellica, the next target, InkLegend, is gonna get blocked. But is it enough? Is it enough? That is gonna be the subject connecting towards the mid lane. Bellica still the target. They don't care about towers. They are just gonna run her down. The first rock got blocked. The second one, not so much. And that is a full team wipe by Confirmed Crisis.
Full team white. On to Confirmed Crisis. Unfortunately, Rocket Rookies losing their ADC in the process, but at the same time securing that Orb Prime buff as they close in on this inhibitor. Confirmed Crisis just respawning and resetting as they try to respond to this.
Yeah, but in the end, it's just going to be the waves cleared, but this is looking really bad, Rdawggg. Do you have any idea like how Confirmed Crisis can come back from this?
This is certainly dire for them, especially since there's so much on the line for them to win this game. Perhaps a miracle from somewhere, but maybe Rocket Rookies will just disconnect all at the same time because of a natural disaster. Who knows? It's definitely hard to come out of this game and sort of close it out and win when you've lost all the objectives. You don't have a lot of kills, so there is that not a lot of gold in their pocket. They have to rely on the combinations and the CC that their team offers.
She's not gonna connect onto the steal. Rdawggg has to run away. Maybe they just get a kill here instead of having to force a natural disaster. And it is gonna be the 1 kill onto the Rdawggg. But on the other side of the map, it's looking rough. Fang Mao, goodbye.
It was just painful to watch. Yes, they lost the Narbash, but they're forgetting that they still have the Confirmed Crisis, forgetting that they still have that Orb Prime buff as they close in on this third inhibitor, or the inhibitor on the right side. They're creating a lot of pressure on the map. Rdawggg looking at the scoreboard, 9-1, just becoming a monster that we expected him to. And compared to the TB or Dev, who's just 0-3 currently. But that's one of the things when you pilot Rdawggg, he's able to just have this disengage and have that high scale damage output that we're expecting from him.
With the passive also dealing max HP damage, so not even the steal is really safe from the Rdawggg. Just really, pretty hard to play in. So we've seen a few times now that he used the shrapnel cannon in order to disengage as well. But yeah, I mean, now they at least weathered the storm with the big prime. But now it's a bit of a problem again, because I'm looking at the minimap right now and I'm seeing a bit of a group up towards the mid lane. Faye might get engaged on. It's gonna get dunked. There is gonna be the gadget super close by. A good blink away by Crazy, but it's not gonna be enough. Ggg securing the steal as well. Faye still running from the gadget, is gonna connect with another E and is just gonna get boxed to hell and back, and Faye is just gonna run away. No problem at all for her. But I'm looking at the minimap again more often than I do usually when I play the game, because I'm looking at Rampage instantly starting up the FangTooth.
Instantly starting that FangTooth. There's some pressure there in the mid lane, forcing both mid laners to take a reset here. But we have InkLegend, Rampage, piloting that Rampage hero, starting up the primordial FangTooth. We have 5 members of Rocket Rookies looking at this objective as Rdawggg just really just trying to see where the other enemies are.
Ooh, good dash away by the TB, dodging away from the subjugate, but that is the FangTooth secured for FangTooth of the game. Also the Primordial Blaze on them. 28 minutes in the game, that's certainly a lot of true damage for them. They're pushing down the mid lane. Minions are not empowered quite yet, they don't have the mini prime, so with the wave clear of Faye, it's still very playable for them. Also, Fang Mao pushing on the offlane.
Yeah, we definitely see Fang Mao trying to create pressure where he can. Yes, we have Rocket Rookies pushing into this mid wave, but we can't deny that Confirmed Crisis has that wave clear and able to sort of just clear the waves, allowing them to just last a little bit longer, defend those inhibitors. But they're looking for a pick. They're looking to see who they can take out. They have that Primordial Blaze, allowing them to have that dot damage as they look for FedEx just running around the map, just trying to escape.
Yeah, but it is just not gonna be anybody getting caught out, and Prime also not a target right now. It's still respawning, so it is a good Fang take, but in the end it's just not good enough because it does not give you anything. Tutanchamin definitely does not want to find a Rdawggg here. Like, that would just be a one pop and he disconnects from the game. We look a bit at items again. I'm still a bit surprised. The Rdawggg, no Fire Blossom, certainly something we do not see too often. Also CS very close, actually a bit in the lead for Rocket Rockies at this point. Any sort of items you can highlight right now?
Certainly we see that there's 4 items, 4 items that we're building into. There's Samwise pulling out that true silver bracelet, allowing him to have that a little bit of immunity to CC while he is using his Crash Bang Boom. But now we've got the orb prime up. This is the fight. This is what we're looking for. 30 minutes in, who is going to be able to take it as both teams look their way on the orb prime.
Yeah, Rocket Rookie starting it up, Rdawggg just zoning. Meanwhile, on the side, they have the Nabash healing, so not gonna be a lot of damage connecting. Fang Mao goes in just in order to get the timers, has to blink away, but Samwise pretty low. Bierchen goes and steals it, is gonna get a good cheese slam as well, dodged away by Ggg. Ggg is gonna get the steal, but Nabash dying in the pit. InkLegend is the target next. Simmy trapped in the pit. TB is getting knocked up by the Rdawggg. Is gonna root it, but is not gonna root enough. Tutanchamin, sadly, only the support is not able to trade it out. Rampage still fighting on the side with the TheCrazyLegend just getting picked off in the end as well. Full team wipe.
What a full team wipe. Good for Bierchen to secure that orb prime, but it was just not enough. His team doesn't have that damage that they were looking for, as you are looking at a very tanky team as well as a very fed Rdawggg. They did lose their Narbash in the process, but they're looking at the score.
They're looking at this score, and with death timers being 20 seconds plus, it's just gonna be the game for Rocket Rookies. Really well played by them. Simmy drops the microwave on the core because he is making sure that the dinner is well cooked. Ggg also suiciding, but that is gonna be the win for Rocket Rookies, securing them first place in the group.